Okay, everybody, welcome back to day 2 of 28 Days of Love. I got the note right that time. Today we have some wonderful friends of ours, David and Lei-Sha Anderson, all the way from the Phoenix, Arizona area. I think Maricopa County, somewhere like that. Mm-hmm. Listen, you want to talk about some individuals who are juggling different parts of life together and mastering it and being head and shoulders above everything.
Pastoring, teaching,
HR,
cooking.
Administration.
Lisa's a baker, like my goodness.
Makes t-shirts,
all
kinds of stuff.
We don't even have space to say it all.
And a blended family. They have some pearls of wisdom for us because what they do well. So tune in tonight.
Invite your blended families.
Yes. Ladies, listen to it out loud near us men so we can hear. I'm telling you, David, he's smooth. Too smooth to be smooth, but smooth anyway. So he has some wonderful things for us to learn. Be there tonight, 6:30 p.m. Facebook Live.
That's it.
On
28 Days of Love. All right. See you tonight.
Well, welcome into night 2 of 28 Days of Love. Oh, I was supposed to sing.
You sing. Go ahead. Ready, go.
28 Days of Love.
You did that.
Did I get it right?
You got that right.
Listen, I'm getting my badge. I'm getting my singing badge. Man, y'all don't want me to know how to sing. If I could sing and play an instrument, I'd be that guy, the organist with all the motions, feet on the keyboard. I'd be too much. Musicians be moving out the way so they don't get struck by lightning.
Oh my God.
Listen, it's 28 Days of Love, ladies and gentlemen. This is night 2 of our first week, our fourth year 4. And we have some very special guests for you. Just personal testimony before we get them on. We were out in Arizona, so I'm more of an introvert, and I kind of keep to myself. I'm not the one that's going to go out and say, "Hey, I want to be friends," kind of thing. But we met these two individuals at a radio station debut meeting, and first of all, Lei-Sha, she made the desserts.
Yeah.
So that had my attention. The desserts was like I want to know them just for the desserts, right?
Who made these?
Then we get introduced to her husband. We're going to bring them on in a second, man. And they were just good people. I don't know how to say it. Just good people, and I'm pretty good judge of character, and I was like, wow, I want to know them, and that was real strange, for me to say, but we got a chance to hang out a couple of times, went to the church and things of that sort. But nevertheless, I just want to let you know that we have some personal connection to these young folks here. and I'm stalling a little bit because Dave's on his way home from work, right? So we trying to give him some time to get in the car on to the show.
But I will say to you that, and for those of you who are here on the East Coast with us, you might be a little bit jealous because it was 86 degrees there today in Arizona. And Newton and I were ready to pack our bags and go move into their house.
I said, you got extra room?
We trying to move in. We trying to stay over for a couple of weeks just to get a little bit of that warm weather.
We'll pay.
We'll pay for heat.
Listen, we've been talking. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Miss Lei-Sha and her husband, David Anderson. Again, he's in the car. So I just said, thank you so much for your dedication to this. I mean, they're 3 hours earlier than us. So it's 6:30 here, 3:30 there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Right away.
It might be 2 hours night now. Remember?
Oh, it's 2 hours now. You're in Arizona. That's right.
Yeah, they don't change. We change. Okay. And that's why.
So I, just they didn't even bat an eye when we asked them.
Yeah.
They didn't say, "Oh, we'll be at work. Can we move it to another hour?" Or anything like that.
They totally forgot about that.
Just, jumped in. So I'm just grateful for. That's just the kind of people they are. So let me stop talking. Did I stall enough time, Lei-Sha?
I hear him coming up the stairs. He's coming up.
Okay.
He hears him coming up. Whoa, that was
I'm going to take him out for the other one then, and it would just be us two.
That was fast. So all of you guys who are on live, won't you just type in the chat and welcome David and Lei-Sha. Now, Lisa's name is spelled very uniquely. It's not like the regular Lei-Sha.
Yeah.
It's L-E-I. Then it's a capital. It's a line between and a capital S-A. I thought, wait, is it Lei-Sha? I didn't know. But I love it. It's such a unique way to spell her name,
which really fits them.
Yeah,
because they're just unique. They're just unique people.
Very unique.
Yeah, we've been talking. You can listen. I'm gonna sit there. Look at that. See, that was like perfect stuff.
You did that.
You got school teachers here. We know how to talk and give you wait time. You know. What's going on, you two? How you feeling today?
We're great.
We are doing wonderful.
Doing great.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good.
It's just really
Staying
good.
warm?
It is good.
It's just, well, it's warm in here.
It's warm, yeah, and the lights make it nice and warm. But if we step out that good door,
yes,
or if we even open that good door,
yes.
It's a different situation right now.
Right, right. So I can see we have some people in the chat that are saying good evening to you. Good
evening.
And saying hello to you. So
say hello to a few of them.
If you don't mind, we'll say hi to a couple folks. We see Letissa Harris is here with us. Tessa, Miss Nikki Davis, thank you. Yolanda,
Jenny Roscoe.
Hey, how are you, Jenny? We have Maya Moore.
Hey, and that's Yadi right there.
Is that
Yadi does not come on Facebook. So
okay.
Awesome.
So we're privileged tonight, right?
My sister Webby is here, Llewellyn. Yes, and Trina from work today. So let me tell you how Trina took care of me today. I was sick today, and she got her husband to bring some stuff, and she made me what is called a bomb. And when I tell you it's a bomb, she got fresh.
See, they know what it is.
They know it. They got fresh lemon and mint, and mixed together some turmeric tea with some ginger. And I mean, I'm still sipping on it, Trina, but it was perfect. And then I came home and slept, just so you know. Wow. I slept for a couple hours.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is 28 Days of Love, and we want to jump in. We have time with these two individuals, and I want to grab all that we can grab from them. Listen, we sent some questions and things of that sort, but I want to kind of deviate from the questions because I know a little bit about their story. Can you guys tell us how you met?
First of all, it's such an honor, you all, to be on with you. We really appreciate it, and we miss you guys.
Wow.
And so thank you all for the opportunity to share. But let me say first, if you hear some noise in the background, our dog is in the other room because he wants to be on camera. And
it's okay, he can join in.
No, he makes too much noise. Okay. But the first time I actually met Lei-Sha, we were in high school. And the guys were out doing track practice, and their team was out doing track. The ladies were out doing track practice, and a mutual friend of ours just introduced us, and we were, just kind of, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And then, we didn't see each other again for about, I would say 8-10 years. And then we ran into each other again at church. And let's just say the rest is history.
There you go.
Some good history.
There you snatched her up.
Yeah.
Black history. Yes. Love it.
Yeah. And
I remember them telling us that a little bit of that story. I was like,
there's some additional tea we won't share on the show.
Yeah, there's some
additional tea. We'll tell you later. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think I remember some of that.
Yeah. It's a crazy story, but it really does speak to how God really will complete what he starts. And even though you don't necessarily have all the, A through Z, you don't have all the places you're going to stop along the way. He gets you where when you trust him, when you give your life and you stop trying to do it yourself, and you give it over to him, he'll get you where he wants you to be. And so that's really, in a nutshell, there's some laughs, lots of them, and some tears, but he got us where he wanted us to be 24 years later.
24.
Yes. So I want to jump into something because this is where I think you two are super powerful, because I know you have your hands in a lot of things. So how do you balance that family and marriage and ministry and all the service and all the things you do,
work, and
what are some keys that you do? How do you do that and still stay so close, with your covenant?
Yeah, I'll start out and I'll let you add. But one of the things that we do some intentional things, we intend to spend time together. So, on Friday nights we have our date night, and even if we don't have time to go out to dinner or go to a movie, we find something to do, like watch a movie together. And we might go to the grocery store.
That's one of the best dates.
And we and believe it or not, aside from, we make sure we pray together every day, and we also laugh
a lot.
Yeah,
we laugh.
Wow.
We enjoy each other's company. And so I'm the nice guy. She's the one that gives me the hard time.
I'm the bad cop.
Time.
I'm bad cop.
but
oh my God.
We have a lot of fun, and we do that intentionally, because both of us, I work and pastor, and she does doing business, and she doing ministry, and we have a lot of things pulling on us. So we call our home our peace point. And so when we're at home, that's, we don't allow a lot of visitors. There's people that are close to us and know where we live, our family, our children, but here is home. We're not pastor, we're not, business person. We're David and Lisa, husband and wife, mom and dad. That's what we are here.
And I just want to add to the fact that we do protect, because a lot of people think that there's no big deal about who you let in your house, but we understand that you just can't do that. Well, for one, regardless of all the spiritual things that are attached to it, for one, it's like when you protect your home and you say, this is our space, like he called it our peace point. This is our space. This is our place. And it's ours. Like, that's something that, there's a whole lot of other places to be, and we can be all those other places. But when we here, this is us. Yeah. And so, but the harmony part, I think through the years, we have four daughters, four beautiful daughters, and they're all doing all kinds of stuff, now. And two are married.
And one is almost married. Yeah.
Wow.
And we got one on the market. One on the market. But we do, in blending, and we're not just a blended, we are a very blended family, right? And so we had a lot starting out. We had a lot of other things, and other people's opinions, obviously other parents that you have to respect. Right. But in our house, it's always been the same. We don't care. We're mom in this house, we're mom and dad, and we're going to love you to the best of our abilities and give you what we can. And so, working and, we have all kinds of stuff going on, and we always have. I wouldn't say balance necessarily, because that's like you put something on and you weigh it out. I would say it's more of harmony, where you got to bring it together and make it sound. You make the sounds and the chords come together, and sometimes the chords are a little off, right? But we have to make the adjustments. We just were purpose that we're gonna live for God. We're gonna love each other. We ain't gonna argue. We're not gonna fight, because we got time for that. And we're just gonna do what God is saying we're supposed to do, and look like what he said we're supposed to look like, regardless of the parts in play. And we just stuck to that, regardless of what came our way. And a lot came our way. We stuck to that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that you called it harmony.
Yes.
And the fact that you said that sometimes the chords aren't right, but we make the adjustment. Newton and I always felt like, what happens here? This is what we do. We have to figure it out.
Right.
Not eliminating any support from the outside or people from the outside, choice people. But this was our home.
We defined this.
And we defined how, that's why we call it marriage simple as pie, because, and pie, P-I-E, as well as P-I, it has an ingredients that you use for your home. And what makes our home is what we put in it. So I love that harmony thing. People call it balance. You call it harmony. I had to post that in the chat because I think that's amazing that there are times when you have to make some adjustments.
I love that harmony piece.
That was good.
That's a nugget. That's a nugget. You guys get that out there. Harmony. Write that note down. So we also have a blended family. And so I know some of the challenges. And I know some of the victories and rewards, of that blended family piece. just curious. And I didn't even know. I don't know if this happened to you. I didn't even know that it was any difference. You know what I mean? It's just what we did. You know, it's who we are. But then I hear people say, "Oh, blended family, that must be tough." And when I'm thinking about it, well, I'm not sure because this is my reality, right? So I don't know. Do you feel that way, or do you think you had any intentional approaches that were different because of a blended family? Something you can share with the folks that might, you know, I don't know,
might need to know.
There, give them some kind of push or whatever.
Well, you know, when we got together, one of the things that we endeavored to do was to make it a family. We didn't want to be blended. We didn't want to be step. We wanted to be a family. And because, you know, it was all these girls and me. I relied on. I found myself relying on Pastor Lisa a lot, or Lisa. You know, I found myself relying on her a lot to kind of guide me, to help me, and you know, build the relationships. And I saw that in a short period of time, what she was saying was working. So there were times that, you know, I would step back. And you know, sometimes people say as men, you shouldn't step back. You should always lead. You should always, but you have to use wisdom.
Yes, you do.
To raising girls in a blended family. You just got to use some wisdom. And if they were used to being led by their mom, if I come in trying to drop a heavy hand, all it's going to do is push them away. And so what I tried to do was find a spot and just kind of be me and let them understand who I was. And that was the basis for how we built our relationships. I had a biological daughter, and Lisa had two, and then we created one. And so it's the four girls, and now we got sons involved and grandchildren's involved, but you know, grandchildren's involved. And the foundation is the same. The foundation is, you know, hey, these are the things. This is our boundary. This is where we are as a family, and this is who we are, and that's what we stand with. Now, if you want to operate outside of that, then you know, you go ahead. But this is who we are, and don't bring that stuff in here. This is who we are.
Yeah,
we fought to protect it. I'm gonna say that because I know, you know, it sounds kind of as we're saying it now, because now our youngest is 22. So, but when you know, our youngest wasn't even a youngest. She wasn't even when we got into this thing. So we really had to work to protect, and we had to say, what we're gonna do. Like you said, you know, Dr. New, we're not going to let anybody impact what's happening in these four walls. But what we're also not going to do, which is very difficult for a lot of people, because when you carry anger and hurt, when you know, come on, let's just keep it real. When you're coming out of a marriage, divorce, all of the things, the pain, the issues, experiences, that all that hurt is coming with you a lot of times. Like you might not have time to drop your bags off at the baggage check, right? You don't have time yet. You don't have to check your bags yet. You're trying to unload and check as you go a lot of times. And that's what we found ourselves doing. But we said without a shadow of a doubt, we were not going to repeat what we had been through. We refused to do that. And we refused to make that a reality for our kids. And we also refused to tear the people, even though it's hard. It was hard because, you know, you want to say a few things. But because you know, we were like believers, like we're not going to do that because, for one, the kids that live in this house, that's still their parent.
Right.
So if we tear them down, we're tearing them down, and it's making them confused, and it's making it harder for them. And so when I tell you, we would fight. It was a fight internally. Sometimes we go in the room and be like, I'd be squeezing his arms so hard, like I just want to choke somebody, you know. But you know, that ain't Jesus, okay?
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. Yeah. But then what we found in doing that is it carved love out of us, if that makes sense. Not just for what happened in our house, but even when we interacted with the parents that were outside of the house, they couldn't understand it. They was like, wait a minute, something wrong? You know, like, why are you nice? Why are you being nice? Why you saying you love? Why are you sending Christmas presents? You know, like it was kind of like, why is it like this? And we were like, oh, we're onto something. And it made our kids, obviously they had some other traumas they had to work through and deal with, because divorce just does that. But
yes.
As solid as they could be, I believe that God, he did that thing because we were committed, no matter what, to do what he said to do.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my God, so good.
I love it.
There's people, I know my sister had posted as well. That's the difference. You have to want to make it a family. And that's some of the things that when we talk with different families who are coming together, one of the things that Newt asked, is this something you really want? Do you want this? Making sure, because it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, a walk in the park. It will be later, when you've learned how to walk together. But at first, you're going to have to maneuver. You have to manipulate and make some adjustments. Yeah. I mean, we've made many adjustments. And that same thing where you walk into another room, or you go into the bathroom, you might get a little tear, a little cry, or a little holler, or whatever, something, because it's difficult. Right. It's difficult, but it's worth it in the end.
Right. So I love how you talked about the children. I don't know, Dave, if you've seen this or not, but I see a lot of times it seems like some parents don't realize that once you have that child and you are in that active time of raising them, not like now where they're gone, but that active time of raising them, that you're really not yours. The things you do are about that child and what's going to happen to them. So everything is investment into the soil of their life. They're watching you, they're listening to you, So you two have, I know you to be super talented in a lot of different areas. So you said earlier that your children are all doing some great things and some wonderful things. Talk a little bit about, were you, intentional of all these things you were doing? Were you exposing your children to them? Were you just doing it to make ends meet? Did it all kind of just work together and now you see the fruit of it in your children? Talk a little bit about managing those resources, gifts, talents, and skills, and how that not only brought your marriage stronger, but, showed up in your children who are now going to be just as powerful as you.
That's a great question.
That is a great question. And you know what? I say it's based on two things. From their mom, they all had this sense of creativity, right? She does creative things, and she can make something out of nothing. That's just been her life for as long as we've been together. And so they seen their mom do the creative things. From the other side, they seen me be, kind of pretty much a consistent, steadfast, dad, where dad at? He at work. Where dad at? He making something happen. Where dad at? He had to speak somewhere. So they've watched, both sides. So they've been exposed to both sides. We are extremely blessed with our children.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So just the four girls, not even counting the guys. One is a human resource business partner for ASU. One of them is a therapist. Another one is a teacher at
instructor
at Aveda. The other one just graduated college and she's working for an auto dealership doing, the back paperwork. So they're all doing right. Oh, she's a commissioner.
We have one that's a commissioner.
And so they're all doing these amazing things. And I would attribute it to not one thing, but I would attribute it to the fact that they watched two different personalities and they watched how they work. And they grabbed some of what they needed from, their mom. They grabbed some of what they needed from me. And they went on a journey to be, the people they are. I don't think, that it was just one thing that launched them the way that it did. I think it was a combination of things: the environment, the love, the trust. It's amazing how as the kids get older, you guys are parents, you understand this. You think that, you got to parent them when they're young and then they just go off and you don't have to parent. But we parent just as much now when they're old. They come over and sit on the couch, or believe it or not,
the pantry.
Them old people, if we are in the bed watching TV, they will climb up in the bed with us. They almost 40 years old.
And eat our snacks.
And eat our snacks.
Rude.
Yeah.
have to do that. Just work.
But that's what I would say, Dr. Newt. Yeah, that it's just a combination.
It is.
I love it.
I also think that, we kept God before them. And I know that sounds but we refused. And I mean, when I tell y'all, we had some conversations. I remember one time in particular, the pastors that we still sit under them, but the pastors that we were sitting under, the wife, she preached a sermon on fasting. And, we were like, oh, we're going to do that. Mostly it was me. Oh, we're going to do that. I don't even think he was completely on board because, we didn't do it. Right. And so we said, okay, we're going to do it. So the first meal was no meat. Y'all, the kids came home like, where is the meat? Where is the meat? What is this? This ain't dinner. Where is the meat? Oh, where the meat at? I know they was about ready. They was like, okay, Lord, we love you, but something wrong with these people. Because right? Houses and land, but plus cows. We don't even Abraham had cows. So where is the meat? Is what they were pretty much saying to us. And we have so many funny stories, but I think also in growing and doing that, because church is community. And so there was that community support. And so even now, the church that we were in, again, we came out of them, they can go back there now. And they're still, as a matter of fact, our daughter, next to our youngest daughter, who just got married, who's expecting, is married to their son.
Wow.
Yeah, who I had in children's ministry. He's now a youth pastor. And so, and it just goes, we didn't know. We had no idea, y'all. We had no idea. Right. Yeah. But it just goes to show that there's something about, they're family. We're family. And that's what it felt like. And I think that extra support really did help, but also they had opportunity to share their gifts in a place that was safe. So as they're, we showed them that there's things they could do, but then God I believe he always surpasses the generation before. I just do. I just think that there's more revelation. They can always get past where you are. And to say anything else would be to say he's less than who he is. And we know who he is in them. And so we're watching them as even blowing our minds. Like when we found out about the one that's the commissioner, when we found out the one that's, master's inside. It's just crazy what God is doing. And I believe that it's just because we kept him first. Regardless. For us, we kept him first. And for the family, we kept him first.
Yeah, we did. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you talked about, I think you said all but one of them are married, the daughters? Or one?
All but two. All but two.
Yeah, one is all but
we got a half. We got a half.
Yes, I think they're on the way, but
so we got some positive, let's say it this way, we have some positive relationships, with your children, with the people that they're choosing, the covenant with at some point.
Very good.
So my question is this, I'm gonna pry a little bit. And only because I really want you, Dave, to speak into the men a little bit somehow. And I want you, Lisa, also to speak, but what you had all these daughters in the household and they're looking at you as the father, as the example, as the lead. How did you teach them how to be treated?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how did you treat them so that they knew how to be treated? What I'm doing is coming in the back door for you to teach us how to treat a lady.
And to let ladies understand how they should be treated.
One of the things that I think really set the foundation was how I treated their mom. I always respected. We've never yelled at her. I never, called her out. We just don't do that. And the second part is my relationship with them. I always was intentional about having fun and having a relationship with each daughter. If you ask each daughter, how was David, all of them might have a slightly different answer because they all have different personalities. So when I dealt with one, morphed to that personality. And when I dealt with the other, I morphed to that personality. And so I wanted to really be intentional with them in my relationship with them. And so again, I started out, taking somewhat of a back seat, allowing, Lisa to guide me. I was open to hearing her suggestions because I wanted to learn. And I know so many guys, they want to go in, like the bulldozer or the bull in the china shop. And sometimes you got to take a step back and listen to a voice that has some knowledge and has some understanding. And so I would listen to her. I remember when she first told me, she said, "Baby, your voice scares the girls." And I was like, huh? This is the way I talk. What do you mean my voice scares the girls? And so, I was just a little louder. That's all. I grew up in the house with all boys, and we just yelled at each other. That's what we do. Right. And so I didn't want them to be fearful of me. So I tried to talk to them and even raise my voice in laughing time so they would get used to hearing my voice. And so, I was intentional with doing some things so that they would understand, one, they are loved. Okay. Two, that they got a safe space with daddy all the time. And they'll still, with their grown self, come up and lay on my chest or lay on my arm like they still, 13 years old. And no matter what happens, I'm here for you. We may disagree. You may not like what I say, but daddy love you. And so just trying to create, that atmosphere that they can always come to me, and I would be there. I would always be there.
Wow.
So I love how David always refers back to Lisa and says that I listened to wisdom from her, especially when it came to raising the children and the ideas that she had or the things that she noticed that helped. So that just shows the oneness between you two, which helped you all to properly raise the children and to show them how they should be honored and respected. I think that's just powerful in itself. And the way he treated her so that they understood that this is how you could be treated. You should be treated. You deserve to be treated. Extremely important for daughters, especially. And then on the other end, the same thing would be for the son, how the son should be treated by his wife. And to treat them. And to treat them. So I love that.
Yes, it is. It's amazing. It's amazing. I like how you keep going back to, because I say this often myself, that as men, the stigma in society says we got to be out front and in charge, like slam the hammer down. And that's just so not true. No, it's just so not true. It's not. If that was the case, then we'd be all one. We'd be alone. He would have never made Eve, right?
And he said it's not good for man to be that.
So, and I'm glad he made Eve. You understand what I'm saying? So, but I love that, that's a whole leadership lesson we can go, we can veer off on, is that leadership is servitude, and it's an influence. So I need to be wise to gather the information around me and fall in place with that, so the whole thing can move forward. So thank you for not reestablishing, but reiterating that a couple of times for us. So it sounds like to me that you all, with all of your different skills, gifts, abilities, you've learned to bring harmony, not balance. You've learned to do these things in front of the children, involve them, keep God first, and now you've seen the fruit of it in the soil of their lives starting to grow up, and they're creating their own orchards now, if you just let me use that metaphor, right? So it sounds to me as if the main thing for you, we even start your conversation off, Lisa did, is to have a nurturing, godly and loving environment in your home. Would you say that is like if you had a secret sauce, one thing, is that it, or am I kind of missing it?
I would say yes, there is a secret sauce. And I'm going to say it's to not be afraid, to be affectionate, but also not be afraid to be real. And, with your kids, there are things that I believe there are boundaries. I believe there are things that kids should not experience, they shouldn't be watching you fight and yell and holler and scream, because it teaches them, even though you don't want that, it teaches them to expect that. But I do think that you should be honest in your disagreements. So like we don't yell, we don't do any of that, but we're polar, literally polar opposites. So we do disagree at times, but what we do is we work it. We're not on this mission where I'm just going to be right,
Come on,
the majority of the time. It's more about, let's get this right.
That's so good, Lisa.
Right. Okay, that's not working. Okay, well, what do we need to do to get it right? And it's not that we haven't had times where we just like, I'm pretty sure, because I'm one of those people that's all over the place. That can be annoying to somebody with my husband's personality. He's like, girl, sit down somewhere, like inside of it. I'm sure of it. But then, at my end, I'm like, could you speed it up, sir? Like it's kind of, but we've learned. I can't not even put enough emphasis on the joy part of a marriage. Most people go into marriage and they're so busy trying to, it's always like you got to make it work. So they don't let God help them let it work.
Yeah.
It's the fight for we're going to do, and we did some where we had to, to get some stuff off of, but I'm just saying, like, the whole thing wasn't that. Right. We had times where we went for walks and we played wrestling. We had wrestling matches. We had snowball fights with pom-poms on Christmas one year. Like, we had Nerf blasters and we were all over the place one year. Like we dress alike. I know people do that. It's corny. We do it. We go on scavenger hunts. We do stuff that, we like to laugh and have a good time. And I think, honestly, that's the secret sauce, because you can make it look like the picture, but if you don't have joy, there's no life in it. It's just a hand on the wall collecting dust. And so I think that's where, what we love each other. We actually like each other and love each other. Yeah. Like, we got a secret handshake, my homie. And we got a secret handshake. Okay.
I love that. That's great.
I'm typing in the chat because I just have to capture some of these, because some people will read later or watch later, or they might just look at the notes, and I want to make sure they hear some of these little
I was going to ask you, but I really don't want to end on this note. I was going to ask you, because I know you're both positive people, how do you navigate challenges together? So you kind of touched on that in what you just spoke. So I'm throwing that out there. But I want to kind of come back and say, we talked about a lot of things kind of all over the place. We didn't really follow our script, right? We talked about a lot of things all over the place. So what would you want to leave people with? You knew you were coming on here. You knew you would be able to minister to people, to put something down in this 28 Days of Love. What do you want people to take away from the Dave and Lisa show?
Dr. Newt, I think that the thing we have to keep in mind is that it's okay to disagree, and a disagreement doesn't make us enemies.
Yes,
that's good.
And sometimes we've had to have some hard conversations that left both of us feeling uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, she's still mine and I'm still hers. And that's where you have to leave it. We may both have to go into timeout, get ourselves together, collect ourselves, because we both in our chest. But at the end of the day, that's not the end of the story. And we're not going to let it be the end of the story.
I like that.
So we choose to work our way back, right back. You talked about the peace that we keep referring to. We choose to work our way back to peace. And if that means that both of us have done got under each other's skin, so we're sitting on the couch, her head on my shoulder, and we ain't saying nothing but watching the movie, that's what we go. Honey, you thirsty? Yeah. Can you give me something? Yeah. And that's all we say.
And mess around and forget you mad.
See there, I love it.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
What was we mad about again?
What was we mad about?
We ain't mad.
I love that. We choose to work our way back to peace.
Choice. Yeah.
I love that choice.
Say it again, sis.
I was just saying, I think I would say that it's the same thing, but on the flip side of what he's saying is that, sometimes we hold on to stuff just so we can, it's that whole want to be right thing. We hold on to it, and then we try to choke the person with what we holding on to. Like, I'm going to hold this up, and I think if we could just say, we're on the same team.
We're on the same team.
We're saying we're on the same team.
Yeah,
but
he says it all the time.
Yeah, if you're not really on the same team, that's going to be evident.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be evident not just to people outside of your marriage, but it's going to be evident to you. You got to be able to be honest,
right?
And have an honest conversation, not be so offended by everything that happens that you just are falling apart, but have this laser focused on getting to what is going to bind that, create that life that, the two become one, that thing. Because most of the time when people disagree, I think it's because they're trying to make the other person into them. When if you have an outlet and you have a prong, the prong can go in the outlet. But if you have two outlets, what is happening? It's this. Ain't nobody connecting nowhere. If you have two prongs, everybody's stabbing each other, right? And so you don't have a connection. So you have to respect the fact that God brought together two different individuals for a reason. Everything he's not, I am. Everything I'm not, he is. But we ain't nothing without God. And that's where the power in the connection comes from. But if you are so bent on trying to make that person, if we had $1 for every time, if we had 2 pennies for every time we heard somebody say, they're trying to make me be this, or they're trying to make me, you can start like that. Why don't you, and why ain't you, and why, and you might still be saying it, but what is your heart intent? Do you really want them to be like you? Because sometimes you can't even stand yourself. So you really probably don't want them to be like you. Okay. We just want to respect
come on with it.
Because it's going to benefit the marriage, and that marriage being benefited is going to glorify God. And so I think at the end of the day, that's what we got to stay focused on.
Yes. Ooh. Are you guys getting this? They're dropping some pearls. I interrupted you, Dave. I know you're going to say something, but I want to make sure people are taking notes here.
Somebody hearted because they're getting them.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time.
I was going to add that, something simple. We had a discussion. It was a little bit ago, a couple of weeks ago, maybe. No, maybe it's longer than that. But, I'm kind of a quiet guy. I'm very, I'm a thinker, and I'm introspective in my thoughts. And she made a comment to me, and she said, when I'm talking, can you respond? I was like, I am responding.
Can you hear me now?
She said, can you respond? And I thought about it, and I was like, I was to myself, I was responding. Now that for some people, would be blow. But for me, I was like, oh, she just needs me to acknowledge the conversation. That's an easy fix. Okay, David, just make sure you open up your mouth. Now, I didn't get offended. I didn't get troubled. Dr. Newt, I feel you, bro.
Find your ear, sir.
I didn't get offended. I made an adjustment because she needed something that I can provide by simply saying, yes, dear, I heard you. That's what it is. It's yes, dear, I heard you. And it made all the difference for the world. To her, for me, it was just an adjustment of saying out loud what I was saying in my head. And so we're so hung up on how we are that we miss the fact that we're one, according to what God said. So I'm not gonna cut her arm off because it's cutting my arm off. And if she hurt, I know you need your arm. And if she's uncomfortable, then I should be uncomfortable, right? So
it's our arm.
It's our
cut it off.
Our arm. That's right.
Ooh, that's good.
That's funny, Dave, because Newt does the same thing.
He gonna come minister to me.
Yeah, he right here, that heartbeat, beat, 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 beat. But Newt does the same thing. He's kind of thinking about it.
Yeah.
He might not say anything, and I'm like, hey.
Right.
You didn't say nothing.
I've already responded and thought of the next
thing.
Is he alive?
I'm like, Newt.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I did. I said, you said nothing. He was like, yeah, I did. You didn't hear me? No, you didn't hear you.
I really did.
In his mind, he thinks he's saying something. So that was good, Dave. That was good. Yeah. Thank you for helping your brother.
But what I liked a lot about what you said when it really hit me is when you said she has a need and I can provide it.
Absolutely.
You know, you said she has a need and I can meet that need by simply making a quick adjustment, you know.
So one of my friends asked this question, Dave. He said, is that you're responding or acknowledging in the middle or at the end of her conversation? When is it important to do that? There's someone who's looking to figure out this marriage thing. He's like, tell me about this. When's the best time?
I think for me, I just responded where it was appropriate. I didn't have a beginning, middle, or end. If she was saying something, I would say, yeah, that's right. I agree with that. But wherever it was appropriate to respond that, I didn't again make it middle, beginning, or end. I just made it where it needed to be.
Mm-hmm. So just respond in some way, letting her know that you're looking, nodding the head, shaking the head, like, listening. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And do you think knowing where it needed to be, is that just conversational skill, or is that because you spent some time with Lei-Sha and you know her, it's
what she might need?
Dr. Newt, I think it's both.
It's both.
Okay. I work in the realm of people all day, so I'm talking to people all day. So sometimes when I come home, I didn't had enough peopling.
Yes, indeed.
And so I'm more quiet. And so, but I know how it's the basis of a conversation. If we're laughing and joking, I know how to respond there. So that part is true of what you said.
Right.
But the other part is just, it's a conversation. So just like I would insert with someone else, if I was sitting across the table from my vice president or the president, I can respond the same way to my wife. It's just conversation. And that's how I translated it in my head. Have conversation, David.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I think to the young man that's asking that question, if we want it to be a learned script because that's kind of easier. Like if I know when to do it, know when to say it, but I think it's really a heart. It's really something that's impacting your heart. Like you're not responding with your words so much as you are with your heart. I think the thing with David was he was responding. He just because he had peopled out. So he was like the response of out loud, click, it's off. Okay, ma'am.
Right.
But I was like, but I just got here. I was at the top. I wasn't there. So I'm getting silence. It's always like that. It would just be moments. But then also I think it's two ways because, he comes in and he's peopled out. And I know that's what happens to him at his job because of the role that he's in. It's major. So, he comes home and I'm like, and I'm like, I made cupcakes and I put sprinkles on them and the sprinkles are green and they were green sprinkles and that would have been bad to the left. The stuff fell on the floor and I know he wants to be like, Lord, I know there's a remote control to her somewhere. Where is it, Lord? If it be thy will, give me the remote control. I would just really like to make her think I'm listening to her, but I really don't want to hear this. But he loves me. So he was, I think a lot of things are, factor into that whole, it's in my head. And I think I've said it after 20 some odd years. I've been saying it, but it's like with anything else. After a while, okay, well, I might not feel like I need to say it because you should know that I'm responding inside myself. But it's a decision to keep allowing it to come out of your mouth, because it's part of communication. It's not just him, it's me. There's me, the adjustments have to be made on both sides, I believe.
So true.
And you know what? Thank you for detailing that out. So just to kind of piggyback, because we're almost at time, but to kind of piggyback off of that, there's a difference in not being misogynistic here, but there's a difference between men and women in our design. Women are more relators, feelers, relators. They're from a rib. And research shows that women speak on average 3 times more words per day than the average man. So
we're gifted.
Yes. Yeah. And yes, they are in that right. So we have to understand each other's, I'm not going to talk as much as you, I'm going to talk, but I'm not going to talk as much as you. So, please understand that. But I also need to understand that you need me to talk when I really don't feel like it. So that I love the way that you guys figured that out. You did it humorously. I just want to throw some research on top of it for those who think that it's not just them talking. No, this is a common a phenomena, if you want to call it that, in marriages. And I'm going to make sure, Dave, that I stop what I'm doing and turn and say, "Oh, really? Okay." And listen and respond and not keep doing what I'm doing, because that's what I'll do. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm processing what you're saying because I'm thinking of the answer. I'm thinking of next. I'm justifying myself right now, y'all.
You're doing great.
And I'm responding in me because I'm saying to myself, does this need me right now? Do I need to do something, or do I just need to know about this?
So instead of wanting to fix it,
right?
Maybe he should consider, I just need to, the communicate, like Lisa said.
I love it because he said she has a need.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. When you said that, it hit me like, boom, right in the chest. Boom. She has a need. And I can meet that need with something real simple. It's not going to cost me anything.
That's right.
Just the second.
You could be rewarded.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I wasn't saying out loud. I'm thinking that, though.
Okay. That's money in the
bank. That's a deposit.
Think about the hole that it leaves, an unintentional hole. If there is a need, I'm not just talking about one-sided. Wow. I'm saying both sides, right? If I'm going to use the woman's side, so if he's saying, I'm saying I need a response. It may not even be. You don't have to, like you said, don't fix it. You don't have to fix it. I just need to know you're still breathing. And that you want to, that you care, because really that's all it is, that you care about what I care about, like that you care about what I care about. And even though, it doesn't really cost a lot to do that, it does, the reward is great. It's more than the rewards that, the rewards, but it's really, you're rewarding your own marriage. You're rewarding your own body, because the two are one flesh. They're trying to become one flesh. And so if if I don't care for a part of my body and I just let it go, maybe the first 3 times it's not that noticeable, but over a course of 10 years, that part of that body is going to have some challenges. I mean, and I'm not saying that, our marriage is perfect. For me, it's perfect. For me, because I love him, but it's not like perfect if somebody were to look at it, but it's our marriage, our DNA, and it's what we have, the mindset that we're supposed to have in it, which means we're going to get to where God said, and it means sometimes I got to pay, sometimes he's got to pay that small price or cost. It seems like it doesn't cost anything, but the benefits and the rewards, the dividends are huge. Maybe not short term, but long term, or you're putting some stakes in the ground, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
My daughter had posted, because the silence sometimes can feel like you're being dismissive, although that's not the intent. So the silence sometimes feels like it's that person is being dismissed.
Yes.
Yeah, even though that intent's not there, because I know there is no intent on Newt's part. Because what'll happen later on at another time when I'm doing something else, he'll bring that topic up. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know you were listening to me. You were so busy. And then he's like, no. I was thinking about this. Maybe we could do this instead. So I know he's hearing me. I just would like for him to be like, okay, well, yeah, that works. Okay, thanks for sharing that with me, Kim, or something.
Right. And just for measure, just another gentleman said, Heart Posture, he said, I love it. Leaders, I guess he's saying when you go home, you want to turn off, and not speak. So just to encourage you that the advice you gave and the things you gave encourage someone and fed into someone so we can all do a little better. Listen, any last words, anything you guys have going on, that you want to let us know about, some product we can purchase, books, T-shirts. I don't know if those desserts can make it this far, but
Lord.
I know I'm gonna send.
Lord.
When we come to Arizona, I'm sending the notice first
in advance. Lisa, my God,
I send the notice and some money. Listen, listen. But you have anything that you like to share with us that we could be a part of or support?
God is just doing some amazing things all around in our life. The church is growing. In B Community Church, if anybody's interested, we're on Sunday mornings online on the B Community Church page. One of the most exciting things that is happening for us right now is my wife is getting a chance to go to Africa to build houses for the ladies there. And so, again, God is just doing some amazing things. Our family is growing. He's taking care of us. And I'm so glad for people like you guys in our life that we may not talk all the time. We see each other online and say, hey, every once in a while, but we can have a session like this to let us know that God brought this connection together and we're grateful.
Yes. Wow.
Well, I had to post that B Community. Yes, such a cute. Yes. And Lisa is so creative with the youth things. So what about you, Lisa? What are you still baking? Are you still making? Are you still?
I'm still baking. I actually did a wedding, not on the same scale because we got a lot. There's a lot, when you're pastoring and he's bivocational, and so there's lots of things, family and all that going on. I got a field trip with my grandbaby on Thursday. But I also the South, I think right now for me, probably just South Africa, we do conferences in November, just lots of things, but that's a big deal for me, especially the climate that we're in right now, to be able to go. And yes, there's lots of missions opportunities at home too, but sometimes God is saying, hey, I need you to go here and plant this seed. And so we are literally it's a group of pastors, women, wives, right, going over to build houses. I think the houses are like $700 for a whole house for someone. And so there are opportunities to give for people to get together, maybe find a friend, go in halvesies or whatever, maybe find 7 people, everybody pay $100. And we're literally hammering, nailing. We're literally building houses, decorating the houses, caring for the families there, the widows. We're going to orphanages. It's a lot, but I'm grateful to God to be able to set foot in South Africa, Johannesburg.
Wow.
Some of the areas are right outside squatters camp. We're going to look and we're going to win the lost. We're going to close the gap. So when Jesus comes back, some folks aren't left, and we're doing what he said. We're the hands and feet. I'm going this year, and then next year our ministry will have an opportunity to go as well. So that's also a blessing.
That's awesome.
How could people give to help with that house, the housing?
They can do the church, right?
Yeah. And so if they go on to bcommunitychurch.com, there's a link to give. And if they want to, they should be able to follow it to the drop down where it says missions outreach, and they can give it there.
Gotcha.
I think it says Africa Tiny House Project.
Oh, okay. Either one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's listed on there, so you can give that way. Yeah.
We're going to post the website and And the individuals who'd like to be a part of that, please be a part. You're giving.
That is awesome.
You're giving that your seed makes you a part of the outcome. It ties you into the blessing. It ties you into the work. So this is good ground. I'm telling you, these two individuals, I know them to not ask for anything.
Yeah,
I know them to not ask for anything. Anything that they need, they're going to figure it out on themselves. So I'm going to partner with this somehow because I know it's good ground because they're mentioning it. So listen, we're at time. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for spending some time with us on 28 Days of Love. Listen, if you want to get in contact with them, you have their website right there. You can I guess inbox them or contact them through there to learn more about some of the things they're doing. I am certain that they will talk with you, give you information, answer your questions. I am certain of that without even asking. I'm certain that that's something that they'll do because that's just how they're built. We love you, Dave, and we love you, Lisa, and we miss you. And I'm gonna get out there. We're gonna get out there.
We have room.
Yeah.
You get some of this heat.
Don't tempt me because I work online. I can go anywhere.
Oh my God.
All my jobs are online, so I can go anywhere. Don't tempt me. Listen, I won't even need your internet. I'll just buy a hotspot.
No problem. You are always welcome.
Yeah, we love y'all.
Oh man,
well,
miss you guys.
Yes,
we miss you.
So excited for what you guys have going on, and definitely can't wait. And so, for those of you who are online, if you want to partner, go in and partner. Such a blessing to give.
Yes.
I mean, such a blessing. Imagine helping someone have a home just with something you have. I mean, yeah.
So we love you. We love you. Love you. Remember, as we say in our morning prayer, walk heavy in your anointing because somebody needs you to. Thank you for tuning in for this episode of 28 Days of Love. And we'll see you back here tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. God willing, for 28 Days of Love.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it right now, but there it is. Bye, guys. We love you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Oh, that is so good. Wow.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to day 2 of 28 Days of Love. I got the note right that time. Today we have some wonderful friends of ours, David and Lisa Anderson, all the way from the Phoenix, Arizona area. I think Maricopa County, somewhere like that. Listen, you want to talk about some individuals who are juggling different parts of life together and mastering it and being head and shoulders above everything.
Pastoring, teaching,
HR,
cooking.
Administration.
Lisa's a baker,
children.
like my goodness.
Makes t-shirts. All kinds of stuff.
We don't even have space to say it all.
And a blended family.
And a blended family.
They have some pearls of wisdom for us because what they do well. So tune in tonight.
Invite your blended families.
Yes. Ladies, listen to it out loud near us men so we can hear. I'm telling you, David, he's smooth. Too smooth to be smooth, but smooth anyway. So he has some wonderful things for us to learn. Be there tonight, 6:30 p.m. Facebook Live.
Hey, I'm Kim.
And I'm Dr. New. And it's that time of year again
for 28 Days of Love. And it's year 4, New.
How about that?
Year 4.
We got a line up for you. We have some new things. This is called the Healthy Marriage Series.
Yes.
Going from the 3rd of February through the 28th of February. We have guest speakers. We have interviews with marriage couples. We have panel discussions, live panel discussions.
Yes, at our church. 260 Lafayette Street every Thursday evening, and you can come and be a part of the studio audience.
Everything happens at 6:30 p.m. and we broadcast it live on our Facebook page, our 28 Days of Love Facebook page, and our YouTube channel, Launch 360 TV. Listen, you don't want to miss this one. We're celebrating, we're making big and making large the institution of marriage because covenant is real.
Yes, it is. And we have so many special guests starting out on Monday, so you don't want to miss it. We're starting out with Dr. Karen Stallings, and that's all I'm going to say. Check out our lineup, and we can't wait to see you for 28 Days of Love.